We have our next two candidates, State Board of Education District 4. We have Mr. Len Marciano, right?
Marciano.
Rocky
Marciano.
Oh, I like that. Were you a fighter? Were you a
I
fighter?
wasn't. My uncle was a middleweight. He fought in the Madison Square Garden during the 50s.
Okay.
His name was Rocky, wasn't it?
His name was Rocky.
And we have the member, current Mr. Mark Newburn. He's a current Board of Education for District 4. So, okay, here's the rules, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, this is not a debate. Everybody say this is not a debate.
This is not a debate.
This is an interview. All right, so you have 30 seconds of a question, and the candidates have 1 minute to respond. If you ask a question for both, they split the minute, so each one gets 30 seconds. Are we okay with that?
Yes.
Everybody say yes. If not, there's the door. Just joking. All right, where are we going to start first? Anybody want to go first? Because I'm all about Dr. Conquest.
Okay, Dr. Fred Conquest from CSN, Executive Director of the Citizens for a Better America. I have a question, Mr. Newburn. Were you elected or appointed to the Board of Education, and do you support or not Common Core?
I was elected. I ran on a science, technology, engineering, and mathematics agenda. The Common Core standards, which were established by the states to push back on the federal intrusion of No Child Left Behind, attempted to take what were very, very pathetically low standards and build college-ready standards. They're supported by all the STEM community, so I support them as the current best available college-ready standards.
You done? Okay. Would like to be Mr. Llewellyn?
Hi, Patrick Llewellyn, Veterans of Politics. A real simple question. Can you answer with yes or no? Do you support teacher carry or open carry on campus?
On college campuses, I support concealed carry for people, for the teachers, yes. In public schools, right now, there are...
It was a yes or no question.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
I'm going to vary a little bit from yes or no because I represent 7 counties. And that answer is different for a rural county.
Can we keep it, I'm sorry, it's going to be a yes or no yes, but it's a yes or no. Or you want to give them, will you give them expense, we'll give them 30 seconds too?
Sure.
Please.
I appreciate it, thank you.
Well, first off, I can't imagine a worse group to make this decision than the state board. But you have to remember, the way guns are viewed in White Pine County are fundamentally different than how they're viewed here. And the way I view that decision should be made, that's a decision that should be made locally between the local trustees and the local sheriff. I don't see any role in that kind of decision in the State Board of Education because it's just going to be different. The rules are just different than urban areas. And I don't want to impose an urban mindset upon the rules. So that's how I would do that.
Again, I'll just say yes, on college campuses, the concealed carry. For public schools, it is up to the local school district. In Oregon, they are deciding that now in a local school setting. And it really is up how best to secure the schools and make it safe for the teachers and the students to go to school. So I would support whatever method they use. If it means that they have hire policemen to come in and the patrol, if they have the principal is the one who's able to have a concealed carry gun, or any of the teachers, I would support that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My question is for Mr. Newburn. Michael Broadway, Veterans in Politics. You are the incumbent, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Our education in Nevada is ranked number 50. Frankly, I don't know how long. I'd like you to tell me how long you've been involved and basically why we don't want to change you and try something else.
Well, first, I'll push back. I was just having this discussion with Trustee Childs. The reports that are reporting that were 50th are actually reporting our demographics. They're measuring the challenge the system is facing. When you look at what the system actually performs at, it performs at 35th to 38th. It's just, you take any Casey Milchild or children account, they have 16 measures. Only 3 are measures of the education system. The other 13 are measures of the demographics. And so, as the math guy, I'll push back and say, no, that's actually not the case. But it is the case that we face the worst demographic challenge in the country. The Urban Institute did an analysis and determined that over the last 10 years, Nevada's had the best growth and achievement in the country. So part of what I do in my job is I try to set the math straight. Okay? The reason you
Time. You want to finish up your thought?
I'm from industry. I'm attempting to expand the STEM education system. Okay? So I am the industry voice on the panel, pushing for higher standards and pushing for 21st century college and career readiness skills. And that's not a view that you traditionally get from the education system.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Newburn.
My name is Tipitar. As a millennial and a ex-college student, I'd like to ask you this question. It's a simple yes or no. Do you believe political correctness is a problem in our school system?
Is that for both of them, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Is it yes or no?
No, it's not a problem that I've run into because we deal with data.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Pamela Caden. Thank you both for your serving today here. I'd like if you could expand on Mr. Broadway's question. You were in the middle of saying something and elaborating. I'm interested in hearing more on how you said you're pushing for that. How exactly are you pushing? What methods do you use to push an agenda that you believe in?
Is that for?
That this is for Mr. Newburn.
So he's got 1 minute to
Yes.
respond.
Initially, it's drawing the line from the K-12 system through higher ed to a workforce. The state has a plan to diversify its economy that is entirely dependent on K-12 being able to produce students with 21st century STEM skills. There is a break in the system that occurs about middle school. Business has not identified it because they think these decisions are made in college. K-12 doesn't realize it's there because they think the world ends at 12th grade. And so it's only from a business perspective looking down into the system, we see that we lose kids off the STEM track in middle school. We lose most of the girls and almost every kid of color. And it's a problem we have to fix, otherwise what we're seeing in business is a growing skills gap, okay? And it has the potential of actually ripping the workforce in half between high-skilled, high-tech workers and minimum wage workers. And right now,
Time.
the sides of that gap are largely determined by sex and race.
Okay, thank you.
Can I talk and say something about
Unless
STEM?
unless somebody, please.
Can I
We have to
say something about STEM?
Sir.
STEM is a global
Sir,
consult.
please.
I'm sorry, I thought you said what?
No, that's okay.
I'll
We have a
ask another
forum, and
question.
we'll, maybe one of the panels, we might have some time, so I appreciate it, so keep that thought. We have to be on a tight time schedule. Thank you.
My name is Robert Faust. Thank you for being here today. My question is, recently we've had several incidences of sexual encounters with students and teachers in the school. And what would your vetting system be for the teachers to make sure that we have morally proficient teachers? And would you have some sort of a curriculum that you would install where, say, teachers would not be able to be alone with students?
Is this for both of them, sir?
This is for both
So you have
panels.
30 seconds
Please
to
start
respond,
first.
and who would you like to start first?
Mr. Newburn, please.
Okay.
As a data guy, I think what you have to do is you have to try to look at the cases and identify the characteristics. Because you have, 21,000 teachers in the state, and you don't want to impose a system that makes the rest of the 21,000 ineffective. So it's about understanding the characteristics of people coming into the system that cause them to enter these relationships. And so it's an analysis job. What is it that What are their characteristics, and then zeroing in on those characteristics
Time.
when you're doing the hiring.
The amount of incidents that we're talking about are not that great. When you're talking about 18,000 teachers in the fifth biggest district in the country, there's nothing that I would want to do to go into anyone's personal life before he's hired, he or she is hired as a teacher. However, you have to make sure that there doesn't have to be a background check, and I don't believe that we need a lot of extra courses for people before they get to become a teacher or go into the school system.
Hi there, I'm Scott Lafata with Citizens for a Better America. I'd like to ask each of you a question. You'll have 30 seconds to respond. Then we'll start with you. The question, this question is near and dear to my heart. How do you feel about our current funding levels for special programs such as music, sports, and that sort of thing?
Current funding levels can be a lot better.
Is that for both of them, sir? Okay, so it's 30 seconds.
Can be a lot better. Do you realize that the state budget receives 8% of the state budget comes from the federal government? Do you realize that the fourth largest school system receives 18% from the federal government? That in the vocational section of the federal budget, we receive fewer dollars than the two districts below us, ranked below us, 56. The negotiations from this state has been terrible. We are not getting our fair share of money, and we shouldn't be burdened, the taxpayers should not be burdened first. We should have better negotiations.
All right, thank you, Len. Mark, go ahead.
I would agree they are not getting the funding or the attention they deserve. Part of the STEM initiative was to push back on the narrowing of the curriculum to just English and mathematics, because it doesn't teach the skills we need. We need skills that involve project-based learning, collaboration, interaction. And these are skills that we see in the arts program, the creativity. What we're interested in is not just seeing math and English. We're interested in seeing the subjects integrated together in a real-world fashion like they are in industry.
Good afternoon. My name is Rowena Griffithson. I'm the founder of Shine Family Foundation. My question to both of you is, what is your own experience with public education?
Is that for both? Okay, and you have 30 seconds.
32 years as a teacher. I'm retired now. I've been a teacher and administrator. I've developed curriculum. I've supervised teachers. I've hired and fired teachers. And I've developed programs which have been able to take a staff which is what they call aging staff and renew their skills through some of the programs that I've been involved with. I have a master's degree in supervision and education from Seton Hall University, and I've gone on and taken courses for 7 through 12 language art literature from Rutgers University.
Thank you. 30 seconds, please.
I'm a product of the Clark County school system. I graduated from Rancho High School. My father used to be president of the Board of Trustees. He established the magnet school program at CCSD. I have grandsons that are now the fourth generation to attend public school in Nevada. I have two daughters that are teachers.
Thank you so much, candidates. Okay, so we have a little time. There's people in the audience. Would you like to ask a question for our panelists or candidates? Seeing, you have no one? Okay, go ahead.
Mr. Marciano, you get in, what is the number one thing you feel is wrong in District 4 right now?
The number one thing wrong with the state of Nevada?
Or the district you're running for, what do you think is wrong, what do you intend to fix?
This is a state board of education, so it's not a particular district. But what's happening now is we're going along with Common Core. We're not paying attention to the 10th Amendment, and we are now taking away the privacy rights of children and families in this state. There is an initiative right now that I have signed that could put an initiative on the ballot to make sure that the privacy rights of children and families are preserved. And right now, the privacy and the 10th Amendment are very, very important in this state.
Okay. All right, that will conclude. Did you want to? Okay, so one more. Doctor, go ahead.
Okay, since the State Board of Education essentially sets the curriculum, would you be for or against teaching a civics class in middle school and a personal finance class for everybody in high school?
Dr. Conquest, is that for both of them?
Yes.
I see you have 30 seconds to respond.
Traditionally, the civics classes and the science classes were all, and the business classes were all taken care of within the curriculum. The history department takes care of that. We have to refocus on that. And the math department traditionally takes care of the business courses. We have to refocus in on that. There is a minority community, the African American community, which have their basis is the mom and pop businesses that have been really hurt because I don't think there has been enough attention to the business course, especially in the 7th and 8th grade here. It's been stagnant for about 20 years. And it's time we refocused in on that. And I just want to say, as far as the STEM is concerned, the STEM has been is a worldwide coalition which has been really disavowed by 2 countries, Japan and South Korea. The parents there now are having their children take hire tutors so that they can learn what we have been proudly doing: creative, innovative, humanities,
Okay,
and
finish up, please.
liberal arts courses.
Thank you.
A couple details. State Board of Education does not set curriculum, it sets standards. Standards tend to be the same state to state. Curriculum actually should be customized for each student based on interaction of the teacher and the parents. I would support that, and actually I chair the Graduation Requirements Committee, and we're in the discussion now of adding a personal finance class. Finance is supposed to be taught, but every student I talk to says it's not. And it's a key component to being career ready going into the workforce.
Okay, that concludes that time. So we will conclude this interview, and this is for State Board Education District 4. We want to thank Len Marciano. Give him a round of applause. And member Mark Newburn, thank you for being here. And if there's any more, would you guys stick around for a little bit for questions?
Sure.
Okay, and we want to thank the panelists here. Thank them again. And I want to thank the sponsors again: Scott Gormley of Rhythm Kitchen, Ron Q Foundations, Paul Padilla, owner of Paul Padilla Law Offices, Michael Broadway, Robert Stoffel Law Group, Brett Jones, owner of Real Waters. Everybody got the Real Water? Shake it up. There you go. So then we have Mr. George Carson, owner of alltalkradio.net, and of course, radio extraordinaire Kevin Wall, owner of Battleborn Radio. Thank you guys again for being here and raising your voice.